Evening students, welcome back to the class. In the last class, we have discussed about molar conductivity, limiting molar conductivity and their relation with each other and also with the concentration of the electrolyte by an equation called the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Now if you observe this equation properly, it is somewhat similar to the straight line equation, that is y equal to mx plus c. If you arrange it, if you bring the c in front here, c plus mx, right? So c is the y-intercept and m is the slope of the line. Okay, if we plot y and x, you will get the intercept and the slope will be m. Now if you compare the Debye equation with this straight line equation, you can observe that this is the limiting molar conductivity, which is the intercept, okay, and minus a will be the slope of the line. Now if you see here, c to the power half means root over c, okay, c to the power half means root over c. Now root over c and lambda m will act as the x-axis and y-axis unit, okay. So if you plot the y-axis as lambda m, that is molar conductivity, and the concentration, that is root over c, in the x-axis for KCl, which is a strong electrolyte, you will get a straight line. Now let us understand only for Kc, because CH3COOH is a weak electrolyte and we will study later in the session. Now you observe here only for KCl, the blue line. If you see here, this is the y and this is the x. X is denoting the concentration. Now here it is 0.4, 0.2, it will come 0.3, 0, okay, 0.1, then 0, it will come. It means what? The concentration is decreasing this side. Clear? The concentration is decreasing this side. Concentration decreasing means what? What is the meaning of concentration decreasing in another way? You can say dilution increasing. Means you are adding water with the electrolyte, therefore the dilution is increasing. You are diluting the electrolyte. Dilution means what? You are decreasing the concentration. So if you observe this way, if you come this way, what happened? Here 0 and here 0.4, right? So it means what? The concentration is decreasing this way. And you know that whenever we decrease the concentration, means whenever we add water to the electrolyte or whenever we dilute the electrolyte, you will be getting more ions, and when there are more ions, you will get more conductivity, right? Whenever there are more ions, the conductance increases, because you know that for electricity we need what? We need the ions, right? So whenever it is highly concentrated, whenever the electrolyte is highly concentrated, you haven't added much water to it, then the ions will not dissociate. If we are taking KCl, it will dissociate into K positive and Cl negative. So these are the factors for conductance. Now whenever you will add water, this will be dissociated into K positive and Cl negative, right? So at this point there is less dilution. You haven't added much water. So you can see that the lambda m is less here, okay? So the lambda m is around 150, suppose. Now when you were coming this way, means you are adding water, you are making more ions. At this point lambda m is increasing, and at 0 concentration you will get a particular lambda m. Clear? So the more water you add, the more dilute it will become, the less concentrated it will be, and the ions will be more at this point because you have diluted it to maximum extent. Now whatever KCl, if you are taking 1 mole of KCl, then you will get 1 mole of potassium ion and 1 mole of Cl negative ion. So at this point the capacity will be highest, okay, the capacity to conduct electricity, that is your conductance. Is it clear? So let me explain it once more here. The first thing, you can say that you are diluting. Diluting means what? Adding water. Whenever you are adding water, the concentration of the electrolyte will decrease. Clear? The concentration will decrease, but you are increasing the dilution. So as you go on adding water, the number of ions formed will be more, and hence you will get more lambda m, more conductance. Clear? So the curve is in this way. At this point it will be less ions, so less lambda m. At this point there will be more ions, so more lambda m. Clear? And at zero concentration the KCl has diluted to the maximum extent, to the maximum capacity, and hence the conductance will also be at the maximum capacity. Clear? The A that you can see here is a constant in the Onsager equation, and this constant is totally dependent on what type of electrolyte that you are using. So I have written here 3 electrolytes and also termed it as 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. So what are these 1 and 2 actually? These are nothing but the charge of the ions that it can produce. So let us see for sodium chloride. What can sodium chloride produce? What are the ions? Obviously very easy. It is sodium ions and Cl negative, okay, chloride ions. So for sodium it's +1, and for Cl also it's -1. So we are not talking about here about the plus and minus, but the value, the unit. So the unit is 1 here, and for this also it's 1. So it is termed as 1 type. Next, for calcium chloride, for calcium you know it's +2, and for chlorine it's -1. Okay, so for calcium it's +2, and for the chloride ion it will be -1. Again, we are not about to discuss here the plus and minus. It does not depend on it. It only the values is required. So here it will be 2 and 1. Again, for magnesium sulfate, for magnesium it's +2, and for sulfate it's -2. So we are not talking about the charge, about the positive and negative here. We are talking only about the values. So it will be 2, 2. Clear? So whatever electrolytes, whichever electrolytes come under 1, 1 will have same value as NaCl. So these are some categories of electrolytes. Okay, you can get 3:2. So it depends, okay, what type of electrolytes that you were using for the flotation. Now you see here 1 to 1, no, KCl will also fall under 1 to 1, because for potassium it's +1 and for Cl it's -1. So this is also 1, 1. So for KCl and NaCl the value of A will be same. So it depends, okay, whatever type you can categorize, that particular electrolytes will have the same value for A. That is why I have written here particular type can have same value of A. Clear? So it's not different for NaCl and KCl. It will be similar for NaCl and KCl. Similarly for CaCl2 and MgSO4, it will be different from each other. When all these experiments were going on based on molar conductivity, limiting molar conductivity, then Kohlrausch, a scientist, observed a very special pattern based on the strong electrolytes related to the limiting molar conductivity. What he observed is that the difference between the limiting molar conductivity of some particular electrolytes is similar. The difference between KCl and NaCl, the difference between the molar conductivities of KBr and NABr, similarly for Ki and NaI, sodium iodide. So you will get a constant value that is 23.4. Again he did another experiment, that is between NABr, NaCl. Okay, he took the difference, then again KBr, then KCl, he took the difference. He observed the similar value. So if you can observe now, here it's very clear. Here chloride, here bromide, and here bromide, here iodide, here iodide. And in the second experiment the cations are similar. Sodium, potassium. So you can interpret now that whenever in an electrolyte similar cations are there or similar anions are there, then the difference between the limiting molar conductivity of those electrolytes will be same. So that is the conclusion he reached. Then he took out a new law, that is the law of independent migration of ions. What he said is that the limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte can be represented as the sum of the individual contributions of the anions and cations of the electrolyte. So, whatever the limiting molar conductivity of an electrolyte can be, that will be the sum of the individual molar conductivity of the anions and the cations. For example, when we talk about the limiting molar conductivity of sodium chloride, the ions, that is sodium ions and chloride ions, has got their individual limiting molar conductivity, that is lambda naught Na positive plus lambda naught Cl negative. So if you sum up their individual contributions, you will get the total molar conductivity of the NaCl, limiting molar conductivity of NaCl. Now, one more thing you have to remember, that we are talking here about 1 mole of NaCl. But if 2 mole of NaCl, what it will be? There will be 2 numbers of sodium ions. There will be 2 numbers of chloride ions. If you talk about 3 moles of sodium chloride, you will get 3 moles of sodium ion, 3 moles of chloride ions. So it means what? You have to add the individual contributions of 2 sodium ions and here 2 chloride ions. Total 4 ions you will get. Therefore, in general, you can term as here NaCl, it can be any electrolyte, okay? V positive is the number of the positive cations produced. V negative or V dash is the number of anions produced. If there are 2 sodium ions, you have to write 2 into clear. If we talk about 3, then you replace by 3. Clear? So these are the number of positive cations. This will be the number of negative cations produced. Okay, clear? When we are talking about 1 mole of NaCl, you can put here 1. Okay, so does not make any difference, so no need to put. But if there are 2 moles of NaCl, it will produce 2 moles here. Okay. Now, as in the graph, you have seen that we have talked about only about KCl. Okay, which is a strong electrolyte. One graph is left which is very important and very critical to understand sometimes, so you have to be very careful listening, okay, me. Then this is a weak electrolyte, CH3COOH. So what is a weak electrolyte? Actually, it is a very annoying character, you can say. Okay, annoying in the sense that it does not like to dissociate. It like to stick together to one another. So what is the ions that can be produced from CH3COOH? It is CH3COO negative than H positive. So these are the ions possible from the acetic acid. Okay, this is known as the acetic acid, and this is the acetate ion, and this is the hydrogen ion. Clear? Or this is the proton. But in case of weak electrolytes, the electrolytes does not like to divide, okay, does not like the division or does not like to break down. So it is very hard for us to get these ions, okay. For that you have to dilute it so much, okay, then only you will get the ions here. And now you can interpret here, you can draw the conclusion here that since the electrolytes which are weak, okay, so these weak electrolytes will not be able to dissociate easily, and hence their conductivity or their conductance will decrease as well. Okay, so let us now study about the graph here. This is the graph for the flotation of lambda m versus square root of C for the weak electrolytes. Now, before understanding this, you have to have a clear concept on graph. Okay, so let me show you one thing here. This is y-axis and this is the x-axis. Suppose we are plotting anything here. Let us suppose A versus B. Okay, so whenever we get a constant graph here, how we say it. Okay, for suppose here 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Okay, so for when B was 1 unit, A was Suppose this is 5, okay, this is 6. So B was 5. Again when B was 2, same, it was 5 for A. Again when we talk about B, again we'll get for Y 5. It means what? Even though the B is changing, A is having the same value. That is why we can plot the graph as a straight line. Okay, now let us come to the main thing here, important. Here, as you know that the concentration is decreasing this way because this is 0, this is 1.4, this is 0.4, this is 0.2, suppose. Okay, the concentration is decreasing, you are diluting. Okay, diluting means ions are forming, because whenever you will add water, then only ions will form, right? So ions are increasing here. The most important question for weak electrolytes in relation with this plotting of graph is that why we cannot measure the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes. Okay, let me repeat once more the question: why we cannot measure the limiting molar conductivity of the weak electrolytes. So let us rewind once again. What is limiting molar conductivity? It is nothing but the molar conductivity at zero concentration. Clear? Means at zero concentration, whatever the value of lambda m will be, that is limiting molar conductivity. Now you can see in this graph that when we come this way, we are decreasing the concentration. Okay, we are decreasing the concentration, means we are diluting it. Okay, and when we are diluting it, formation of ions will be also more. That is why it can conduct electricity, right? So at 0.4, between 0.4 and 0.2, the electrolyte, the weak electrolyte, is so stubborn that it will not form any ions now. When you are adding water between the concentration of 0.4 up to 0.2, you are diluting now. So you are adding here water. At this point, between this and this, there will be no such formation of ions that it will change the value of lambda m. Therefore, you see here the lambda m is constant for this much value. Clear? Now at a certain point, means above 0.2 value, what it will happen, formation of ions will be suddenly there will be so much of ions formed. Okay, at this point what happens, the conductance will also increase, the molar conductivity will also increase here. Clear? Because you know that whenever ions are forming, then only your lambda m is possible. Okay, because here ions were in the constant stage. Okay, the number of ions was constant, so your lambda m was also constant. But at a certain point, when, because you are going on adding water, no, so once your value has reached 0.2, there will be sudden formation of so many ions. Clear? There will be high formation of ions. At this point, your lambda m will also be high, and you see that this is becoming almost parallel to the y-axis. Clear? This is almost, see, you are plotting the graph. No, you are what you are doing, you are decreasing. At 0.4, your value was this much. At 0.3, your value will be this much. At 0.2, this much. So, and at suppose after 0.2, when you have added, suppose it is 0.1, you will get here. Again 0.001, suppose you will get here. So like that you will get the graph, and you have drawn the graph this way. Okay, now as you know that lambda m naught is the value of lambda m at zero concentration, but you see here we haven't reached the zero concentration only. While you were doing the experiment, while you were taking out the values and you were plotting on the graph, you have got the graph this way, a curve. And in this curve, there is so much of gap between the 0.2, suppose 0.2, this way. This is the difference, right? And since it has been so steep that it became parallel, two parallel lines will never meet. How much you draw, it will never meet, right? So what happened here, these two lines will never meet. If it was meeting here at 0 concentration, the value of lambda m was this, right? So this is possible only for KCl, that is for strong electrolytes, but for weak electrolytes, it suddenly the graph became so steep that it became parallel with the y-axis, and hence you cannot reach up to the 0 concentration. Clear? You cannot reach up to the 0 concentration. That is why you cannot measure lambda m not for weak electrolytes, because nowhere you can see, no, if this is 0, somewhere on this line only you should get the lambda m value, 1 point here, then only you can measure that, yeah, this is the lambda m at 0 concentration. But there is no such meeting of this graph with the y-axis, then there is no lambda m naught, right? So you cannot measure the lambda m naught or limiting molar conductivity for weak electrolytes, because while plotting the graph there is no 0 concentration, there is no point here. Okay, you will not get a point on this line here while you will plot the graph, therefore. Okay, so another way, a very important thing I want to tell here, that weak electrolytes, I have already mentioned that weak electrolytes will not dissociate easily, right? And when you will add so much of water, only then weak electrolytes will dissociate, that too up to a certain amount. So when you were adding here water, it was dissociating. At this point, the maximum level of dissociation of that weak electrolyte is reached. After this point, how much water you add, it will never get dissociated. So you cannot change that particular concentration, or you cannot change the concentration of the weak electrolytes anymore, because it is no more dissociating. So that is another way of seeing the thing here, but that is not the point here. So our point is that we cannot obtain the 0 graph at 0 concentration at C, no, this side is C, root over C. So at 0 C you cannot get a point on the y-axis, therefore it is not possible for us to calculate the limiting molar conductivity. I hope this session is clear to you all. Thank you.